Welcome to another podcast episode. This is the PT Profit, Leverage and Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Matt Dart. I'm coming to you for another bit of value, team. We're going to be talking about sales today. So let's talk about how to have an 80% or higher conversion rate in your business. So I've got a couple of notes here, but let's just quickly discuss what that could even look like for your business. Because most personal trainers generally have 20 to 30% conversion. So what would it actually look like in your business if you were converting 8 out of 10 people that you sat down with for a consultation? How would that actually transform your business? I can tell you right now, you'd be growing a lot faster than you are right now. So let's get stuck in. So there's a couple of points that I've got here. So I'm just going to look down at my notes just to make sure I've got everything covered. But there's 4 main things that I want to talk about today in terms of getting a 80% plus conversion rate. So during my time as a PT, which has been, this has been my 4th year now, pretty consistently over the 4 years, I've had roughly around 80 to 85% conversion on new clients signing up from consultations. And that's not single-handedly, but that's one of the big reasons as to why I was able to go from 0 to 250 sessions per week in under 2 years. 6 locations, 12 trainers, and you guys can kind of figure out the income from there. But it came down to a couple of things. So the first thing is having a super simple sales process. So a lot of personal trainers, and to be fair, some of the clubs force this on personal trainers, which is a whole nother podcast episode. But a lot of the time they do like 3 sessions as an introduction. And in my experience, a lot of PTs will literally give the member everything that they need to succeed. So why would they need to stay with you and start paying you for a service if you've already given them everything that they need? So a lot of the time they do like 1 session for goal setting, 1 session for or 1 session for goal setting, 1 session for foundations in the gym, and then 1 session for what they need, or I give them a program and then tell them exactly how to do it. So after 3 sessions, they're like, cool, no worries, don't need your help anymore. Catch you later. So personally, I find that you need to simplify that sales process. That's a very long sales process, and then you're only selling to someone at the last session. Whereas some people don't even show up for the 2nd and 3rd session. So you're just completely wasting your time. You have no opportunity to sell the service or make an offer on your service. So, I mean, some clubs force PTs to do 3 sessions. So this is the ideal scenario for me. And when I look for clubs for my clients, or if I'm looking for another location, I want to have a bit more control over what I offer, because a lot of the time you're doing this for free. Like, people don't understand, like, the trainer's not getting paid for this. It's all free for their business. So what I find is I generally just do 1 session for free. And when I say a session, it's not a PT session. I call them a health assessment. You can call them a mind and body session. You can call them a consultation. You can call it a goal setting session, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's all the same thing. But essentially, what I suggest doing is the first 15 minutes should be talking about their goals, getting their pain point, like why they haven't achieved their goals so far, like what's been holding them back, what do they need help with. Okay, cool. What have you tried so far? Why hasn't that worked? What's happened previously? What's your current routine? What's your nutrition like, etc., etc. So 15, 20 minutes for that. Then, as an optional extra, you can do a technique session. Now, the technique session, I suggest just being 3 exercises. And this is not to fatigue them at all. This is just to test their technique to see where they're at. But realistically, you're trying to see if they actually need help. Some people don't need help, which is fine. Like, you can't help everyone, and you shouldn't be helping everyone anyway. So choose 3 exercises. I used to choose a back squat, push-ups, and the lunges, because most people do them incorrectly, and you can generally show people some value and some variations that they can do. So you just do one set, a set of like 5 or 6, just like super lightweight, just to test their technique. Most people do it incorrectly. So you correct their form, show them some other things that they can do. That should take 15 to 20 minutes. Remember, you're doing one set of each exercise. So, how long does 3 sets take? Not that long. That should be about 15 minutes. And then you got 10, 15 minutes on your close. So your offer should take about 5 minutes to present. And then you've got about 10 minutes to objection handle and kind of get all the paperwork done for the sign up. So that's the first thing. Have a super simple process. And I suggest it all being done on the first session. Okay. Second thing, get people in an emotional state and create impulse. So how do you do that? Easier said than done. So it all comes down to the types of questions that you're asking. So you need to firstly ask open-ended questions, not closed questions. Closed questions are yes or no answers. Open questions are, tell me the reason why you haven't achieved the goal. Can you explain this to me? So when you say that, what does that mean? So asking open questions. So I generally like to ask, why do people want to achieve a certain goal? What's their why? Why do they want to lose the 10 kilos? It's not just as simple as, oh, I just want to feel better. It's like, well, maybe they want to run around with their kids a bit more. Maybe they're super exhausted all the time and they can't keep up with their kids. That's a huge why for someone. So you get them, that's how you get them in the emotional state. You create impulse when you get them in the emotional state and you provide a solution for their problem immediately. That creates impulse that they want to buy right now. That's how you get people to buy like on the spot. You create the emotion and you create the solution, like an irresistible offer, which I'll get to in a second. That's how you're going to do it. So there's a number of questions, like I said, open questions. Why do you want to achieve the result? Why haven't you achieved the result that you're looking for? Like you still want to ask some closed questions. A good closed question you can ask, I'll give you a quick tip here. A good closed question you can ask, if you keep doing what you're doing at the moment, so your current routine and current nutrition, do you think you're guaranteed to get the results that you want? Most people, 90% of people will say no to that, because otherwise they wouldn't be sitting in front of you, doing a consultation with you. So that's a good question to ask. My next point, have an irresistible offer that makes people feel stupid by saying no. And what I mean by that is you can have a guarantee of results. So when you're coming up with your offer, is it just that you're saying, oh, yeah, I'll train you twice a week? It's not an irresistible offer. Why don't you say something like, I'm going to give you 2 sessions per week. We're going to do a variety of different exercises with strength, high intensity, Pilates, whatever. We're also going to do, the first session is going to be a free 60-minute setup session to set you up for success. So we're going to talk about your goals. We're going to talk about we're going to do your measurements. We're going to do fitness testing. We're going to do a body scan. And with your body scans, we're going to do body scans every 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to collect a lot of data to make sure you're on track. Every 4 to 6 weeks as well, what we're also going to do is a goal setting and reassessment session. In that session, we're going to reassess your fitness testing. We're going to redo your body scan, as I said. We're going to redo your measurements. We're going to make sure that you're 100% on track with your goal. Now, on top of that, you're going to get access to our VIP group for community and support. You're going to get 24/7 access to me as well if you need the extra assistance. You're also going to get access to our app, for example. How much better does that sound? Now, on top of that, Sally, Karen, John, whoever, on top of that, we guarantee you get results in the first 12 weeks. If you don't get results in the first 12 weeks, I'm going to give you an extra session for free until you get the results, or I'm going to give you your money back. Whatever it is. Build up the perceived value, and then when you're actually telling them the price, they're shocked because it's so cheap. So that's the first thing. The last thing, you need an objection handling process. Objection handling. So, sometimes people will just go, yeah, I'll just do the 2 sessions a week, or I'll just do the platinum package, or I'll do the gold package, whatever. Some people are like, oh, can I just think about it? Can I talk to my partner or whatever? You need an objection handling process, and I won't go through that in super detail today. But I'll tell you the process. It's a 4-step process. You need to acknowledge the objection. So acknowledge that they have an objection. Isolate the objection. So confirm that it's actually the correct objection. A lot of people will say they need to, or it's money, or it's their partner, but it's actually something else. I just don't want to tell you. They might not just see the value in the program or offer that you have offered them, or the service that you've offered them. And they just might be too scared to tell you. They might just think they don't have the time to train 2 sessions a week, so they might just want one, but they don't know there's a 1 session a week option. You need to isolate the objection. Then, so you acknowledge, then you isolate, then you educate, and then you overcome. Education is more, you educate them by offering them a different solution that's in their budget, or that's going to provide, or that solves the problem for that objection. So you educate them. Then you overcome. So you just ask again, hey, why don't we just do this option instead? And that's it. So this is how you have an 80% plus conversion rate. So simple sales process: get people in an emotional state and create impulse. Have an irresistible offer that makes people feel stupid when they don't do it. And then an objection handling process. I can go through objection handling in a lot more detail in a separate episode, where I can give you live examples of what that looks like. But that's essentially how you do it, team. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to whatever channel you're listening to this on. Follow us. And if you did get some value out of this episode, please share it with a friend. That's the only way that this podcast can grow, and so we can get more guests on here. So I'm going to get some guests on here as well, so we can have a bit more of a conversation around different experiences and what people have done in the industry. So keep an eye out for that. But apart from that, the episode is done. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next podcast episode. Have an awesome day.